Chapter 1: Introduction of Principles of Management. Reading this chapter will help you do the following. Number 1. Learn who managers are and about the nature of their works. Number 2. Know why you should care about leaderships, entrepreneurships, and strategy. Number 3. Now the dimension of the planning, organizing, leading, controlling POLC framework. Number 4. Learn how economic performance feeds social and environment performance. Number 5. Understand what performance means at the individual and groups level. Number 6. Create your survivor's guide to learning and developing principle of management. We're betting that you already have a lot of experience with organization, teams, and leaderships. You've been through schools in club, participated in social of religious groups, competed in sport or games, or taken off full or part-time jobs. Some of your experience was probably pretty positive, but you were also likely wondering sometimes, isn't there a better way to do this? After participating in this course, we hope that you find the answer to be yes. While management is both art and science, with our help, you can identify and develop the skills essential to better managing yours and others' behavior where organizations are concerned. Before getting ahead of ourselves, just what is management, let alone principle of management? A manager's primary challenge is to solve problems creatively, and you should view management as the art of getting things done through to the efforts of the people. 1. The principle of management. Then are the means by which you actually manage, that is, get things done through others, individually, in groups, or in organizations. Formally defined, the principle of management are the activities that plan, organize, and control the operation to the basic elements of people, materials, machine, methods, money, and markets, providing direction or coordination, and giving leadership to human effort so as to achieve the sole objective of an enterprise. 2. For this reason, principles of the management are often discussed or learned using a framework called POLC, which stands for planning, organizing, leading, controlling. Managers are required in all the activities of organizations: budgeting, designing, selling, creating, financing, accounting, and artistic presentation. The larger and the organization, the more managers are needed. Every one employee in organization is affected by management principle, processes, policies, and practices, as they are either a manager or a subordinate to a manager, and usually they are both. Managers do not spend all their time managing. When choreographers are dancing apart, they are not managing, nor are office managers managing when they personally check out a customer credit. Some employees perform only part of the function described as a managerial, and to that extent, they are mostly managers in limit areas. For example, those who are assigned the preparation of plans in an advisory capacity to a manager to the extent are making management decisions by deciding which of the several alternatives to present to the management. However, they have no participation in the function of organizing, staffing, and supervising, and no control over the implementation of the plan selected from those recommended. Even the independent consultants are managers, since they get most things done through others. Those others just happen to be their clients. Of course, if an advisor of consultants have their own staff of subordinates, they become a manager in the fullest sense of the definition. They must develop business plans, hire, train, organize, and motivate their staff members, establish internal policies, size that will facilitate the work and direct it, and represent the group and its work to those outside the firm. 1. We draw this definition from a biography of Miriam Parker Follett, 1868 to 1933, written by P. Graham Murray. Parker Follett, Prophet of Management, Boston, Harvard Business School Press, 1995. Follett was an American social worker, consultant and author of books on democracy, human relation, and management. She worked as a management and political theorist, introducing such phrases as conflict resolution, authority and power, and the task of leadership. Number 2, the fundamental notion of principles of management was developed by French management theorist Henry Fayol, 1841 to 1925. He is credited with the original planning, organizing, leading, controlling framework (POLC), which, while undergoing very important changes in content, remains the dominant management framework in the world. C. H. Fayol, General and Industrial Management, Paris Institute of Electrical Electronics Engineering. Who are managers? Learning objects. Number 1. Know what is meant by manager. 2. Be able to describe the types of managers. Number 3. Understand the nature of managerial work. Managers, we tend to think about managers based on their position in an organization. This tells us a bit about their role and the nature of their responsibilities. The following figures summarize the historic and contemporary view of organization with respect to managerial rules. 1. In contrast to the traditional hierarchical relationship among layers of management and the manager and employees in the contemporary view, top managers support and serve other managers or employees through a process called empowerment. Just as the organization ultimately exists to serve its customers and clients, empowerment is the process of enabling or authorizing an individual to think, behave, take action, and control work and decision making in autonomous ways. In both the traditional and contemporary views of management, however, there remains the need for different types of managers. Top managers are responsible for developing the organization strategy and being a steward for its vision and mission. A second set of managers includes functional team and general managers. Functional managers are responsible for the efficiency and effectiveness of an area, such as accounting or marketing. Supervisory or team managers are responsible for coordinating a subgroup of a particular function or a team composed of members from different parts of the organizations. Sometimes you will hear distinction made between line and staff manager. A line manager leads as a function that contributes directly to the products or services the organization creates. For example, a line managers, often called the product or service managers at Procter and Gamble P&G, is responsible for the production, marketing, and profitability of the Tide detergent product line. A staff manager, in contrast, leads and function that creates indirect inputs. For example, finance and accounting are critical organizational functions but do not typically provide an input in the final products or service a customer buy, such as a box of Tide detergent. Instead, they serve a supporting role. A project manager has the responsibility for the planning, execution, and closing of any project. Project managers are often found in construction, architecture, consulting, computer networking, telecommunication, or software development. A general manager is someone who is responsible for managing a clearly identifiable revenue producing unit, such as a store, business unit, or product line. General managers typically must make decisions across different functions and have rewards tied to the performance of the entire unit, i.e., store, business unit, product line. Each general managers take direction from their top executives, they must understand the executives' overall plan for company. Then they set specific goals for their own departments to fit in with the plan. The general manager of production, for example, might have to increase certain product lines and phase out others. General manager must describe their goals clearly to their support staff. The supervisory manager see that the goals are met. Figure 1.3, the changing rules of management and manager, the nature of managerial work. Managers are responsible for the processes of getting activities complete efficiently without other people and setting achievement the firm's goals through the execution of four basic management function: planning, organizing, leading, and controlling. Both sets of processes utilize human, financial, and material resource. Of course, some managers are better than others at accomplishing this. There have been a number of studies on what managers actually do. The most famous of those conducted by Professor Henry Mintzberg in the early 1970s. 2. One explanation for Mintzberg's enduring influence is perhaps the nature of managerial work has changed very little since that time. Aside from the shift of an empowered relation between top manager and other manager and employees and obvious changes in technology and the exponential increase in performance overload. After following managers around for several weeks, Mitzberg concluded that to meet the many demands of performing their function, managers assume multiple rules. A rule is an organized set of behaviors, and Mitzberg identified 10 rules common to the work of all managers. As summarized in the following figure, the 10 rules are divided into three groups: interpersonal, informational, and decisional. The informational rules link all managerial work together. The interpersonal rules ensure that information is provided. The decisional rules make significant use of the information. The performance of managerial rules and requirements. Relationship with people in the interpersonal rules place the manager in a unique position to get information. Thus, the three informational rules are primarily concerned with the information aspect of managerial work. In the monitor rule, the manager receives and collects information. In the rule of disseminator, that managers transmit special information into organization. The top-level managers receive and transmit more information from people outside the organization than the supervisor. In the role of a spokesperson, the manager disseminates the organization information into its environment. Thus, the top-level manager is seen as an industry expert, while the supervisor is seen as a unit of departmental expert. The unique access to information places that the manager at the center of organizational decision making. There are four decisional rules manager play. In the entrepreneur rule, the manager initiates change. In the disturbance handler rule, the manager deals with threats to the organization. Into the resource allocator rule, the manager chooses where the organization will expend its efforts. In the negotiator rule, the manager negotiates on behalf of the organization. The top-level manager makes the decision about the organization as a whole, while the supervisor makes decision about his or her particular work unit. The supervisor performs these managerial roles but with different emphasis than higher managers. Supervisor management is more focused and short-term in outlook. Thus, the figurehead rule becomes less significant and the disturbance handler and negotiator rules increase in importance for the supervisor. Since leadership permits all activities, the leader rule is among the most important of all rules at all levels of management. So what do Mintberg's conclusion about the nature of managerial work mean for you? On the one hand, managerial work is the lifeblood of most organizations because it serves to choreograph and motivate individuals to do amazing things. Managerial work is exciting, and it is hard to imagine that there will be ever a shortage of demand for capable, energetic managers. On the other hand, managerial work is necessarily fast-paced and fragmented, where managers at all levels express the opinion that they must process much more information and make more decisions than they could have ever possibly imagined. So, just as the most successful organization seems to have well-formed and well-executed strategies, there is also a strong need for managers to have a good strategies about the way they will approach their work. This is exactly what you will learn through Principle of Management. K. Takeaway. Managers are responsible for getting work done through others. We typically describe the key managerial function as planning, organizing, leading, and controlling. The definition for each of these have evolved over time, just as the nature of managing in general has evolved over time. This evolution is best seen in the gradual transition from the traditional hierarchical relationship between managers and employees to climate characterized better as an upside-down pyramid, where top executives support middle managers and they in turn support the employees who innovate and fulfill the needs of customers and clients. Through all four managerial functions, the work of manager ranges across 10 roles from figurehead to negotiator. While actual managerial work can seem challenging, the skills you gain through principles of management, consisting of the function of planning, organizing, leading, and controlling, will help you to meet this challenge. Exercises. Number 1. Why do organizations need managers? Number 2. What are some different types of managers and how do they differ? Number 3. What are Mintzberg's 10 managerial rules? 4. What three areas does Mintzberg use to organize their 10 rules? Number 5. What four general managerial functions do principles of management include? Number 6. Ghoshal and C. Bartlett, The Individualized Corporation, a fundamentally new approach to management, New York Collins Business 1999. 7. H. Mintzberg, The Nature of Managerial Work, New York, Harper and Row 1973.